This is a fresh install of Fedora 24. I'm going to install Linrad here. This is Linrad 04.13 preliminary. So it will be the 04.13 and coming versions that will be installed this way. It may be easier than it was before, but the old installation is still also perfectly valid. So what I do is open a terminal window, and I always want to run as root, so I said set user root. This is not necessary, but this is what I use. I don't want to be prevented to do stupid things. It's my responsibility and not something for the computer, I think. I made a directory repo. And here I issue a command. This is the command to get the Linrad source code from the repository. And just enter. And then it says it doesn't have this command, so I say dnf install . We need to have subversion. Yes. And then again. And now I get the Linrad source code. There are some errors on the repository, or maybe with the subversion numbering, version numbering or something, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to run in the Linrad directory that was just now created. I want to have some separate place for my working directory, so I make a directory for it. And then copy. Copy. Like that. And then go there. Now there are two ways to build Linrad. I will try the CMake way first. That's the new method. I'm not so sure it works already, but it should do pretty soon. So then I make a new directory. And then go there. And then the command is cmake for the parent directory. So dnf install cmake. Yes. And it doesn't take very much time. And then again. And CMake complains there is no C++. So I tried this command to install the C++ system. And yes. And hopefully this will be enough. And now it complains we don't have NASM. Linrad needs that assembler. So dnf install yes, that's a small program. And now it complains that libx11 is not in place. Well, this will be changed in CMake because it's no longer necessary to have any of this kind of libraries compiled in from start. So I will go to the old build system which has been modified. So I go back to the Linrad directory and type configure. And then it tells me all of these libraries are missing, everything, including the X11 that CMake complained about. But now we can compile anyway. And I do the 64-bit code because this is a 64-bit system. And now compilation is complete, so I try to run Linrad. XL like that. And then let's say I want to use X11, that's A. And here something is missing, as we know. So I take this here, copy and paste. And here is what I have to do. Fedora 22 and later, it's this thing. Yes. And then I go to the build directory. And then make. And it makes things for the graphics card. This is not yet implemented in Linrad. It's starting, but not okay yet. And it fails on FreeOCL. And I don't know why. So I have to go back to the old build. And now compilation is complete, so I run Linrad again. And select X11, that's A. And I forgot, after having installed, I have to run configure again after installation. That's because configure sets up the variables for the make file. And you can see X11 is no longer missing. And now I start Linrad again and select A. And then I have to verify. I press enter and I choose expert mode, which maybe you shouldn't do if you are not used to this yet. And I want some parameters that are not so important. Let's say 66 by 66% and normal priority and no auto start. And here is the Linrad screen, and I press W to save parameters up to this point. Now today I want to set it up for this radio. It's an ELAD FDM S1. So I go in here and I press U. First I have to select the sound system. So I select 0 for ALSA. And you see, Linrad complains, there is no ALSA here, yet. Well, escape. And here is the command it prompted me for. Copy and paste. And then you can see what I have to do on Fedora 22 and later. It's this. Copy and paste. Yes. And then I have to run configure. I can do it with this, with ALSA, and you see I don't get in install instructions anymore because it is already installed. And then make. And then I run again. And U, and I select ALSA. And then I want to select the ELAD, so I make A, and then ELAD FDM S1, that is N. And let's say I want 1.5 megahertz, that's 3. And this is just something you might need to know if you change the speed in the ELAD, but that's not what I'm doing now. So press any key and I need lib USB 1. And I get the command here also. Fedora 22 and later. Is this? Paste. Yes. And I have to run configure. And then make and then execute linrad again, and U, and we didn't save, so I have to go there again, and then I want to select the ELAD, that is N and 3. There is one more library that is needed, the FDM S1 64-bit library. So that's this command. Copy and paste. And of course, the old way of doing this is to type configure with help. Then you get all the install instructions for everything. And if you know what you want to install, that is going to be practical. But if you don't know, this will be much easier because you don't need a large number of libraries. So I go back to the linrad directory, home, CD, and again run configure. And you see, we need something more. This package is needed for the ELAD FDM S1, Fedora 22, and later we have to install Alien. Copy and paste. Yes. And now I have to run configure again, and with this with FDM S1 argument, to see whether installation is complete, which is not. So this is the actual library for the hardware, and it needed the other libraries, so I copy and paste this, and then go to home again, and then I run this command again, and installation is now complete for the FDM S1. So I run make, and after compilation I start linrad again, and then U, and I have to select ALSA again, and then A, and the ELAD, that is N, and like that. Enable 30 MHz low pass filter, yes. Swap I and Q, no. And then output, that's B. And I don't use port audio. If I would select port audio here, I would be prompted to install the port audio library. But not using it, then it will just use ALSA. And I will use the motherboard Intel sound card, that's 0. And that's it. X. And then save, that's W. And I want to listen for, let's say, AM, that's F. and enter for default parameters. And this is slow. And here we are, 7 megahertz. And I click on something. The sound level is very low. I open another terminal and go for ALSA mixer. And that's all. If I want some other hardware, I would select it and get prompted for other libraries that would be needed.